All right, Woodworker Anonymous here in the messy workshop, and today we're not doing anything regarding wood whatsoever. Actually going to try my hand at doing modifications to a motorcycle, and I have zero experience with this. But we bought this motorcycle. It's a Yamaha Vstar, and it's actually really clean and meticulously maintained. Got a really good deal on it. It's a 2006, got like 10,000 miles, and we're going to bob it. So we are going to cut the frame and get rid of this rear fender, get rid of the seat. We're going to get rid of the handlebars, we're going to get rid of the fenders, and we're going to totally change this. And some people, I'm sure, probably want to know why you would do something like that to a bike that's in such nice condition. And well, bottom line is, there's millions of these bikes out there. It's a very popular bike. They're not rare at all. And, we got it at a very good, reasonable price. So, to be honest with you, even though it looks bone stock, there are some modifications already. The previous owner replaced the seat. He also replaced the pipes and did some work to the carburetor. So, this is not exactly a pristine stock bike anymore anyway, so I don't feel bad about it, and we're just going to hopefully not make a mess of this bike, because I don't know what I'm doing. But this is what it looks like beforehand. Very, very nice bike, but now we're going to have some fun with it, so let's see how that works out. Okay, checking in on the bobber build from the Vstar 1100. And you can see we've basically just taken most of the parts off. Got rid of the fenders, got rid of the seat, got rid of the side covers. And we did do this ahead of time. We're putting drag bars on the bike. This is a Vstar 650. And you can see these are what the stock handlebars look like. I didn't really feel like that was going to keep it wouldn't be in the bobber style, right? So we got rid of those. And we did buy a drag bar. It's a 35-inch drag bar with some 4-inch risers and some new custom grips and mirrors. So it does totally change the front look of the bike. Did tear off the fenders. They're over there. You can see them. And got the side covers off. They've got to be sanded down. I'm going to paint those black as well. We got new fenders right here. They're just primed right now. We're going to have to sand them down and put a flat black on that. Put some flat black on here with gloss black decal as well. Those are the side covers. And we got a seat pan, license plate holder, and we got a solo seat up there. So, just wanted to stop here, kind of show you what it looks like. You see what we actually did here is I used a Sawzall to actually cut the frame. Okay, this is like that bike over there had this big rear fender, and it was a big it was just an extension of this frame, and it was like had some welded pieces across the top so that you could actually have a passenger on the back with a passenger seat. That's gone. This is now a solo bike. It'll never carry another passenger again. It's a one-man bike. So that might be the only drawback here, but this bike already looks absolutely nothing like the Vstar once was. So we got the tank off, got it drained, just sanding it all up. There was a pinstripe like decal on the tank, and there was just no getting it off, so I had to sand all the way through to the bare metal to get it down, and then just kind of blending it in everywhere else. There are no real dense nicks or anything like that in the tank, so I don't have to take the whole thing down to bare metal as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be a lot more of this right here, sanding and sanding and sanding, and then hopefully prime it, and then maybe sand it some more, and then we're going to try to paint it. And I don't know anything about painting, and I'm going to buy a cheap Harbor Freight spray gun and some automotive paint, and going to see exactly how bad that turns out with someone who has zero experience. So stick around. You might want to see that disaster. Maybe it won't be as bad as you think. So we turned our garage into a painting booth. And the way we have this is we have all the garage doors closed, so except for this one's half open with an exhaust fan in it. So it's exhausting out here, so it's pulling air in directly above, and this is an enclosed garage, so it's just creating this large vortex from comes in across the top and then out the bottom. So if we spray from this side, we're really going to have a lot less to deal with as far as contaminants in the air, and we don't have a professional spray booth, so this is what we're going with. And you know, we're not painting a whole car here, just some pieces on the motorcycle. It's not a big deal. Right now it's just a matter of getting everything primed and ready to go before we actually use the Harbor Freight gun with the urethane paints with the hardeners. So that's kind of where we're at. So this is going to be like the worst Technique paint job. You can see, I think we start the top. We probably should start. It doesn't matter. It's gonna suck. All right. All right. It's a bobber, it's supposed to look bad. With the petcock goes right underneath here, and we had a problem where our first coat of primer turned out there was still gasoline in the tank. It worked its way out underneath the tape and then took all the paint off. So we're repainting. So here we go. Hopefully we don't have any more gasoline in the tank. You know what I did there? I got too close. Trying to keep it same distance away all the time is a trick. Alright, side covers. See how that's going on? Rough. So it will have to be sanded back. Not a big deal. Okay, so we pretty much have the tank and the side covers are all primed up. The fenders came with a primer on them already, so we're just going to scuff those up before we start putting on the final coats. I've been working on the lights, you know, wiring this thing up for new lights. We got this is part of the blue collar bobber kit. This is the is this a 31 Ford tail light? Yeah, tail light. And then, but I've been working all morning on getting these things wired up, and you know, a little bit of a trick here is here's the wiring harness for the rear lights, for your tail light and your signal lights. And what you need to do is you need to actually preserve that clip. So you take that clip out, and then you splice on the different color coded wires, add some connectors, and it's all explained in the instructions from Blue Collar Bobber. They do a really good job explaining how this works. As far as, I mean, as long as you can read, they send you these color photographs, and they kind of walk you right through the whole process. You know, you do have to make up some splice kits, and they show you what color, show you even how to do it. They give you all the connectors you need. All you have to do is like follow these directions, crimp them on, and you know, measure them and cut them. And you know, this is the clip that you saved from the original bike and the original fender, and you splice these splicing pieces back onto it, and then all the tail lights and turn signal lights will plug into those connectors, and you just have to make those up. It's not hard, and it walks you right through the process. It took me about 2 hours, and I'm a complete novice, complete nobody when it comes to this, so I was able to figure it out, no problem. I wired them up. I just set them in here temporarily, turned it on, tested the brakes, the turn signals. It works like a charm. So we're good to go. I bought all the paint from TCP, let's see, I think it's TCP Global, and they make this hot rod flats paint, and you don't need a clear coat with this stuff, and it comes with a hardener. We'll mix this up. We'll throw it in the Harbor Freight spray gun, which I've never used in my life. I have zero experience with. They even send you strainers here to strain the paint, some mixers. So that's the plan. All right, that's the plan. Let's see if we can get some kind of execution on this to make it respectable. All right, so this is hot rod flats from TCP Global, and they make this, which is already flattened, so it's a hot rod flat. You don't need a clear coat after it. It's a two-part, so you got to mix this with a hardener. And so basically we got to stir this up, and we got to mix this 4 parts paint to 1 part of the hardener. That's what we're doing now. So let's see what we have here. My initial reaction is not horrible. All right, so a little bit of the preliminary aftermath here. For the most part, it came out pretty good. For the first time ever shooting anything through any kind of a gun. But there are some spots here. But there are some spots that look like maybe didn't get enough paint. So I don't know, I'm contemplating another coat. There are a couple blemishes on the tank. There's that spot right there, just like a little bit of a piece of dust or something. But this actually, for a complete novice and know nothing, this job is definitely better than I expected. It's gonna look freaking awesome on the bike. And bam, bike is done. I know we were just painting it, but we finished it up. And I didn't show you putting together everything because, to be honest with you, most of these parts are blue collar bobber parts. And you can go to their website and they have videos showing you step by step how to install every single part on this build. So there's no need for me to do that all over again. They've already done a good job of that. What I wanted to do is just show you the end result and what's capable. You know, a guy like me, a guy like you, you know, people who aren't like professional mechanics. This is what we can do with products from companies like Blue Collar Bobbers. I highly recommend them. And I just want to give you a walk around here on the bike. So you're probably wondering how much this all cost, right? Vstars are relatively inexpensive bikes because there's so many of them on the market. And if you wait until the off season like we're approaching right now, you can probably get some really good deals. I feel we got a very fair deal on this bike. It was in very good condition, had 10 or 11,000 miles on it when we bought it. Got it for 2,900 bucks. And the guy who owned it before was an auto mechanic. So he took care of the bike and it was a good bike. So we're 2,900 bucks getting the bike in. The blue collar bobber kits, I mean, I pretty much bought most of the kits that they are available. You don't have to buy everything. You can kind of do an a la carte menu with it. But I kind of got most of the stuff that they offer, and I think I paid like about 1,400 bucks for all that. You know, we did spend 260 bucks on the Baron Big Air kit, and we spent the pipes were expensive. Pipes were 550 bucks. So that's 800. That's 2,200. About 2,200 plus the 29. We're at about 5,100 bucks right here on the bill on the whole bike. If it's $5,000, this bike is an absolute screaming deal. And I just want to give a hats off to blue collar bobbers. Absolutely blowing us away and loving their product. All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching my video.